The Asia-Pacific region is the most disaster-prone on Earth. Typhoons, floods, drought, heat waves all have the potential to devastate communities and economies. While conventional weather forecasting systems can predict when extreme weather will strike and what will most likely occur, they lack the ability to predict how the weather will affect communities on the ground. This is the role of impact-based forecasting. It changes the focus of forecasting from what the weather will be to what the weather will do. And with climate change only set to exacerbate extreme weather events, adopting impact-based forecasting is crucial to help safeguard communities across the region. For example, consider this. Conventional weather forecasting systems can predict when and where on the coastline a typhoon is likely to strike. But think about a community that lives in this typhoon's path. How will they be impacted? For instance, how many people live in this location and are at risk? Could their agricultural crops be impacted? What infrastructure is vulnerable? Is there a risk of an overlapping disaster, such as a COVID-19 outbreak? Impact-based forecasting both asks and answers questions like these. When combined with effective warning services, the potential impacts of extreme weather can be communicated to emergency authorities and other government bodies to help the people likely to be hit. This enables informed response decisions to be made, reducing damage and saving lives. ESCAP's approach to impact-based forecasting involves combining information on hazards, exposure, and vulnerability to identify potential impacts and support decision-making. Let's break this down more closely. Hazard data includes climate information and hazard risk maps. For example, a typhoon's anticipated path. This can then be combined with exposure data, which identifies key entities of interest like a community's population number, agricultural production capacity, the location of energy infrastructure, and other health and water considerations. These entities can then be assessed in terms of how vulnerable they are to hazards. For example, is a particular type of energy infrastructure at risk from a typhoon's wind? This combination of data leads to an assessment of potential impacts, allowing for the identification of risk hotspots and early action to mitigate damage. Here are some real-world case studies of ESCAP's approach to impact-based forecasting. In May 2020, Cyclone Amphan impacted the coast of India and Bangladesh at the same time the COVID-19 pandemic was spreading. Following the approach, a map was created combining the cyclone's forecast with population exposure data and localized COVID-19 case data. This provided an integrated view of the merging of two disasters. In October 2020, Typhoon MOLAVE struck the coast of Vietnam. After the disaster, a number of demonstrative case studies were created. For example, this map shows the country's major power plants combined with a hazard layer showing the typhoon's wind and rainfall. So, what's next? Impact-based forecasting is most effective when tailored to suit the specifics of each location and sector. This requires coordination and collaboration between government agencies and key stakeholders. It also means warning communication systems need to be optimized to suit local conditions. Working together, the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, along with the World Meteorological Organization, RIMES, UK Met Office, and others, aim to promote the use of impact-based forecasting and warning services by encouraging agencies and stakeholders to share knowledge and expertise, assisting member states in Asia and the Pacific to build capacity and form partnerships, and developing relevant training manuals and e-learning courses. The time for action is now. Let's work together to ensure effective impact-based forecasting and warning systems are established for the benefit of the entire region.